This is why you have to be careful who you meet online, because this story is going to be a very complicated one. On the 27th of April in 2024, two young women went missing after visiting a rich man they met on Facebook. Celine Odudim and Afiba Tando were said to be friends. Celine is Nigerian, while Afiba is Ghanaian. It was first said that they were both in Accra before they both traveled to Lagos. Then from Lagos, they went to Owerri before going to Port Harcourt. And while they were in Port Harcourt, that was when they made arrangements with a man they met on Facebook who goes by the name of Andrew Amechi, who they perceived to be a wealthy billionaire given his flashy lifestyle on the social media. It's not really clear what either of these girls did for a living, but we know that Afiba, the Ghanaian girl, was married and was in constant communication with her husband throughout her trip. And it was easy for these girls to be lured by Andrew Amechi because the man posed to be a very wealthy man. His lifestyle on social media depicted some rich billionaire who was ready to spoil any girl who agreed to date him, who was ready to spend on any girl who agreed to go out with him. And there were videos of him with other girls on his social media, which sort of concludes or gives the impression that he might be a safe choice. And since these girls were already traveling from one city to the other and they were in Port Harcourt, Abia State wasn't exactly that far. It was just the next city, barely 40 minutes to Aba. And so this was how Afiba and Celine embarked on a trip to meet their billionaire Facebook friend who lived in Aba. Little did they know that this trip might just be their very last trip. So it was on the 27th of April they went to see Andrew. They had agreed with Andrew that they were going to meet at a hotel, Panyu Hotel and Resort in Aba, a flashy place and befitting of the man's lifestyle. They indeed got to the hotel and they met Andrew. It's unclear how the encounter went, but given what we know now, it may have appeared that Andrew may have been nice at first. It's part of the luring. He may have treated them well, bought them food, giving them their own private rooms. However, the care would not last long because few hours later, the horror began. Celine made a call to her sister, Tessie, that she had been kidnapped by the man they had gone to see. A WhatsApp message was also sent to a friend to please call the police, that they were in trouble. And Tessie, Celine's sister, was very quick. She instantly traveled to Aba to inform the police there that her sister claimed to have been kidnapped. And thankfully, Celine had been giving the sister details of the hotel that they had gone to see this man, and most likely the name of the man they had gone to see. Now, Afiba's husband claimed that the whole time his wife was traveling from Accra, Ghana to Lagos to Owerri to Port Harcourt, he was aware of the trip. He was in contact with her. They were chatting, they were communicating. However, when she went to Aba to meet Andrew, that was when he stopped hearing from her. When Tessie informed the police in Aba that his sister had given her a distress call, the police in Aba began their investigation almost swiftly. They went to the Panyu Hotel and Resort in Aba, and since the girls were no longer lodged in that hotel, the police began checking the CCTV footages. And the CCTV footages were helpful in a way because they were able to identify Andrew and maybe see the girls lodge in and leave. And it was believed that through that CCTV footage, they were able to trace the girls to a house in Aba there, where they began to search the house. But it was almost as if them searching the house was stalled by powerful men they claimed had been making calls to the police to stop the search, to leave Andrew alone, and to cease investigation. And the first batch of police that Tessie went to were very slow. They were not doing enough. It was almost as if they had been threatened or bribed to stall the case. And that was how the case started stalling. Days would pass, almost a week or two would pass, and the police that this woman had gone to were no longer as swift as they were initially. And this was troubling because nobody knew where the girls were. Nobody knew what had happened to them. They couldn't get any call or text from them. At this point, they were missing and their life was in total danger. And yet, the police were only slowing down their investigation. The family of these girls began using social media and calling on people to put pressure on the police to take the case seriously, because they are on the clock. The more time they waste, the less likely they will find these girls alive. And in the course of using social media to get the story of these two girls out, a popular social media activist, Mr. Gwamnishu, picked up the case. And he is known for seeking justice for a lot of people who are in distress or abused or in this case, missing. And thanks to Guamnishu, we are able to follow the story in real time. The case was eventually reported to the Humaya police station in Zone 9, and these ones picked up the case almost immediately, given that the first group of police officers they told were slowing down. And an order was given to the police to begin searching. They went back to that building, which belonged to Andrew Amechi, and they searched the house all over again, where they found the possessions of these young girls. It was easy for them to know the house to search because while they had seen the CCTV footage in the hotel, Celine's sister Tessie recognized a vehicle she saw in the video in the house of this man, and she believed that that is the same vehicle she saw in that CCTV footage, and thereby the possibility that her sister and her friend Afiba were in that house. The search, like I said, revealed that there were properties belonging to women found in Mr. Andrews' house. They found children clothing, they found wigs, they found Celine's wallet containing her ATM card, her passport, even her flight tickets from Ghana. The investigation went on to reveal that Celine's brother, who was at home, found Celine's iPad she left in the house and was able to access it, only to realize that withdrawal had been made from her bank, that 100,000 naira had been withdrawn from her account on the 26th of April and 1 million naira on the 28th of April. Now, remember they had gone to visit the man on the 27th. So I would assume the withdrawal made on the 26th was just her trying to hold something so that she could go and visit this man the next day. However, the 1 million naira that left her account on the 28th, it's possible that that was them being robbed or trying to pay their way out of it, and which also could indicate that on the 28th of April they were still alive, kept somewhere in that man's house. Andrew Amechi was arrested, and this seemed like good news. However, he was not saying anything, he was not spilling anything, he did not mention where the girls were. We were hoping that him being arrested and being interrogated by the police would lead to the whereabouts of these two girls. Weeks had gone by, and we still do not know where these girls were. Despite seeing their properties in this man's house, and despite arresting the man, the police could not crack him open to reveal the whereabouts of these girls. It was now later revealed that some police officers from Abuja came down to Abia State to transport him to the headquarters for more interrogation, because at this point the case was getting tough. The Ghanaian embassy is now involved because they've been reported that one of their own had been kidnapped in Nigeria. So this was important that it was investigated thoroughly and the whereabouts of these girls were located. However, on the 31st of May, nearly 1 month since they went missing, it was rumored that Facebook billionaire Andrew Amechi was shot dead by police while he tried to escape. Some other sources claim that it was a vigilante group that shot and killed him, and the death of this man is what would turn this story upside down. A lot of people began suspecting that something is off. They believed that Andrew was not dead, that he had successfully paid his way out of police and was on the run, until Mr. Gwarimshu revealed and showed people the remains of this man to confirm that he was actually dead, to confirm that he had been killed. His body had been taken to the mortuary. This makes this case almost very weak and impossible to solve right now, because before Andrew's death, he did not reveal anything about the whereabouts of these girls. Nothing was said. Only he knows, and now he's dead. And his death also became very calculated, because why would he be shot and killed while trying to run? He is a very heavy-weighted man. He is a very big man. Even if he tried to run on foot, he most likely would not go very far. And a lot of people began to suspect that maybe a higher power paid for him to be killed, to shut him up, because if he goes down, there's a chance that bigger people up there would go down too. People began to suspect that he might have been in a syndicate of body parts money ritualists, people who kidnap people and sell their organs for money. As the story began to make headlines, more people who had met him in person claimed in screenshots and messages that they had gone to visit him at multiple times, and he always acted strange. And in one occasion, one girl claimed that in her mind she had met the love of her life. Even after being sexual with him, he started acting up, started acting strange, giving her orders. And even when she tried to leave the man's house, he chased her down and threatened to kill her and hide her body. But somehow she left Andrew's house alive. There were claims that Andrew used to get these girls to sodomize them. However, there is no specific claim that some of these girls had gone missing in the past in Andrew's possession. Because it would have been important if for some reason, someone comes out and said, oh, my sister went to see him and we never saw her again. So far, a lot of the girls who had come out to speak on their experience with Andrew are alive. However, that of Celine and Afiba seems to be a different story. And I personally believe that there's a chance that somebody ordered his assassination. Because at the initial time when the police were investigating him, they had orders to stop investigation. They were getting phone calls that he should be left alone, that he is an innocent businessman. People in higher power, because the man seemed connected, were advocating that he be left alone. However, when the case became bigger than the power of just a street side police station, and now the headquarters in Abuja are involved, it is believable that those people trying to protect him at the initial time decided to end him and keep him quiet eventually, because they know the moment he gets to Abuja and he starts spilling, he will bring others down with him. After Andrew's death, the police did not stop. They went back to Andrew's property to search around, where they made a very shocking discovery. The decomposing body of someone was found wrapped in a curtain that matched that of Andrew's own in his house. But the only problem is, this body that they had seen could not be identified easily. Body part had been cut out, including head, arms, and leg. And so it was hard to tell who this body was. Could this be Afiba or could this be Celine? Or is there a chance that this is someone else that had been killed long before now? The case is currently ongoing and there might be an update eventually, because Celine and Afiba are still not found. And the body found in Mr. Andrew's house has still not been identified correctly, at least. We don't even know if it's a male or a female. Maybe if they had seen two bodies, it would have been helpful to say it's the both girls. But it's just one body that had been seen. But what is actually more frustrating is the fact that Andrew himself is dead. So where can this investigation go to? It will be a difficult task for the police to keep on pushing. There are words that the investigation had been paused or stopped, because the only person who knows where these girls are is dead. And we would just have to wait and see if the police find another body in his compound. I feel like they should do more search. They should search his septic tank, search his ceilings, his backyard, search for freshly dug areas in his neighborhood. But this is my thing, and this is what I want to say about this case. I don't know why Andrew was the only one arrested. For you to be in a syndicate, for a grown man to kidnap two women, he could not do it alone. For him to kill these two women, there is a chance that he would need help. I believe that Andrew is not working alone. I believe that the police need to find other people. His houseboys, his gardeners, his gate man, his errand boys, his drivers, people who work closely with him. This kind of abduction and kidnapping is not something that only he could have done by himself. I get that he's the one who invited them over. Even killing of this girl and rolling their body in a curtain and disposing it somewhere, it looks like he would need help. Even his mobile phone would have enough information. Who did he speak to last? Throughout this whole time while he was with these girls in the hotel and bringing them home, who was he communicating with in his mobile phone? His mobile phone would reveal more people. And I don't think the police should end the case with him just dying. Someone somewhere out there knows something. They are trying to cover up something. This case is even bigger than Andre himself. But there's also that possibility that he only wanted to rob these girls and maybe assault them. But like we saw in the Umoren's case, when somebody goes missing and people are already quickly tracing the person to a particular house and the person is still alive there, they are forced to kill these people. And I think that would be the case of Celine and Afiba. If at all people were actually meeting this man and surviving, for them to be the victims of being killed, there's a chance that Andrew saw online that he had been figured out, that the police had already started investigation, that they were coming to his house. And I think when such a thing happened, they are immediately forced to silence these girls once and for all and do away with them, so that when the police come, nothing will be found in their houses. And that could be another reason why they may have been targeted or killed. But given the fact that there are people in high power trying to silence this man himself, the main culprit, there is also that possibility that this is an organ harvesting syndicate. This is a money ritual thing. This is a sex slave sort of situation. We will just have to wait and see where this case goes or how it unfolds, because it's not over. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also turn on notification button so whenever there is an update on this story, you'll be the first to know. But before we go, please let me know your thoughts in the comment below. What do you think this is? Do you think this is a case of money ritual? Do you think that there are bigger people in high power that wanted to silence Andrew himself? And what are the chances that these two girls will be found alive?